Everybody, welcome to Board Game Breakfast. I'm Tom Vassell, and we're here to talk about board games and all sorts of things that have to do with tabletop gaming, board games, and card games. Okay, so last week we were at CMON Expo, and we got to see a lot of upcoming games. Like we were able to take a look at Rising Sun and some other games, and we recorded playthroughs or demo playthroughs of several of these games, and they're going to be posted throughout the course of this week. A big thank you from us to those of you who came by and said hello to us there. So that was exciting, and it was good to meet many of you. The Dice Tower Awards were announced last Monday on our live Q&A. I'll be doing another live Q&A some point either today or tomorrow, partially because, well, today is my anniversary, so I may be doing something with my wife, but secondly, also today's Sam's birthday, so you can say happy birthday to him. Okay, well, all that out of the way, a lot of cool things coming up this week, as usual, but we're going to get started with the news. All right, so let's start with the news. First of all, Rio Grande has announced a reprint of Cartagena. This is a game from Leo Colavini. It's kind of a race game where not kind of, it is. Pirates escaping from prison, and you move as far as you can on a path, but if someone else is on the spot you're moving, you can move farther than them. It's almost like a gamer's version of Candyland, but it's actually a pretty good game. So hopefully the reprint is good. Rio Grande's production values these days are not the best, but we can hope. Cartagena 2 is actually in the box also, so that's cool. Fantasy Flight has announced several things. First, they announced a new expansion for Imperial Assault, the Coruscant expansion, and then, of course, some miniatures to go along with this. So this has some of the big mean guys, Maul, who's no longer Darth for whatever reason, and the Emperor. People are going to be really excited probably to have him in games. The biggest news from Fantasy Flight Games, though, was an expansion for Star Wars Rebellion. Star Wars Rebellion Rise of an Empire. Star Wars Rebellion, I wasn't sure if they were going to add an expansion to this game or not, since it felt pretty complete to me without it. But this is going to add in a few things from the original trilogy, including Jabba the Hutt, so that's neat. It's going to add a lot of stuff in from Rogue One, several of the characters, the U-Wings and other things. And then there's even some stuff from the Rebels TV show. So still not a lot of details about this expansion yet, but I'm sure a lot of people are very pumped about it. Rather Dashing has announced Hafid's Grand Bazaar. This is a bidding game from the same designer of Element. Element's starting to get some pretty high reviews, so we'll have to wait and see. This is a 2 to 6 player auction style game. Restoration Games. This is from Justin Jacobson and Rob Daviau working together to bring back older games like Stop Thief and redo them. Has hired 3 new people: Lindsay Daviau, Rob's wife, J.R. Honeycutt, as a developer, and our own Suzanne Sheldon as basically a promoter of that board game company. Let's see here. Rooster Rush from Antoine Bauza. This is a speed dexterity game coming from Mayday Games, so we'll see what that's like. And also, they're reprinting Macroscope, which is a game I had a lot of fun with, where you basically a picture and slowly holes are being revealed and you have to figure out what the picture is. Yellow has put out a little trailer telling more about their game Arena for the Gods. This one looks like it has the possibility of being King of Tokyo big, so we can hope in that regard. And like I mentioned already, the Dice Tower Award nominations were announced. The winners will be announced at Dice Tower Con. You can go back and watch the video or look on our website to find out that information. But the Origins Awards nominations were announced. From the family game category, the Cartoon Network deck builder game, Garbage Day, Happy Salmon, Junk Art, Karuba, and Speechless. I'm going to pick winner there, probably Happy Salmon. For card games, Dream Home, Fabled Fruit, Kanagawa, Kodama, Tree Spirits, Lotus, Mystic Veil, and Oh My Goods. Maybe Kanagawa will win that one. Who knows? I'm not going through every category, just ones I think are relevant to you all. In the game accessories, they have the Blood Rage insert from Broken Token, which is really impressive. Then the board game category. Now, Disclaimer, I am the foreman of the board game category, and the nominees there are Blood Rage, Clank, Cry Havoc, Feast for Odin, Islebound, Mansions of Madness, Scythe, Rebellion, Star Wars Rebellion, Terraforming Mars, and World Fair 1893. Tough category. I don't even know what would win that one. Maybe Scythe or Star Wars Rebellion, but who knows? It could be any of those games. Honestly, folks, this is a pretty good slate of games. Origins Awards obviously has had problems. Certainly one of the reasons I wanted to get involved in the process, but I think these are the pretty good games that they have nominated this year. All right, let's find out what's going on in the Kickstarter world.
Happy breakfast, everybody. There's some great stuff in crowdfunding right now, so let's take a look. Alone is an asymmetric sci-fi dungeon crawl from the studio that brought us Potion Explosion. A single player is the stranded space explorer trying to survive the world they've crashed on. The remaining players are the masterminds of the planet, laying traps and placing creatures to try and end the explorer. Alone includes an element of deduction because the mastermind's actions produce signals that the hero can use to find the monsters and traps. There's also a memory element as the map tiles that have been explored are removed from the table each round, the explorer left to recall from memory what was behind them. The hero can also combine items to increase their abilities, and the time to complete missions is limited, with the hero using action points to do things like explore, search, and attack. Different scenarios introduce allies and new enemies, and the modular map setup ensures variable gameplay experiences. Alone includes over 20 custom minis, and it can be yours for a pledge of $75. Barker's Row places you in the role of a barker at a slightly creepy circus trying to fill your grandstands with rubes before your competing barkers. You attract rubes by completing attractions from your hand. As turns go on, a shared midway market will fill up with barker cards made up of 4 special suits: freaks, beasts, oddities, and horrors. Your strongman level determines the value of the attraction you have to be able to score by combining barker cards that match the suit of your attraction. Scoring an attraction draws rubes to your stands, and it also will offer a one-time use ability. But with each score, your strongman level increases, making it harder to complete attractions. Barker's Row includes almost 50 custom meeples for the rubes, and the game's art really enhances the feel of that creepy circus. You can get a copy of Barker's Row for a pledge of $29. From legendary designer Martin Wallace comes Moa. This is a really fascinating game that combines colonization mechanisms with the history of fauna on New Zealand. In this game, tribes of birds populate the land, and a Moa is the leader of a tribe that has multiple abilities. But as tribes spread across the land, they also compete for territory, and then they have to fight off the invading mammals, or they can capitulate and sell off land to them. Terrain cards dictate the active areas of the board each round, and the bird cards offer different balances of abilities like territory control, battle, selling out, and magic. The hand management comes in as the starting hand of cards is all the player gets for all 7 rounds of play, but magic tiles do provide some support with a variety of abilities. Wallace's design was inspired by his time in New Zealand, and the art by Vincent Joubert adds a really fantastical sense of whimsy to the game. A copy of Moa takes a pledge of $40 plus shipping, but if you're a backer of other ape games, there are discount pledge levels available. One of my favorite ways to upgrade my games is with bits from MeepleSource. Recently, they've been digging in with official partnerships, and in their newest campaign, you can get upgraded bits for the upcoming Charterstone from Stonemaier Games. MeepleSource also has a great partnership with Red Raven Games, and this campaign offers amazing bits for Empires of the Void, Above and Below, and Islebound. Along with all of those, you can add in custom bits for Tim Fowler's hardback for the ink and invisible ink, or you can bling out your Colt Express with wooden terrain and loot. And people who love heavier games are included too, with a full set of pieces for Splotters Indonesia. The campaign is really geared around being able to add in any sets you want as add-ons, so check out the campaign page to see all of the latest MeepleSource offerings. And last, but certainly not least, Card City XL is a fully revamped and updated version of Alban Viard's Card City. This is a card-based city building game in which you must smartly lay out the different building types within a city grid to attract more citizens, earn more money, and grow your city. You want to have lots of parking for your commercial districts, but keep pollution away from residential areas, etc. The game features an element of Albin's other games, City Growth, that I really love, and the basic mechanisms include one of my favorites, the I Cut You Choose, to acquire new building cards. Well-placed buildings may earn you bonus cards, and strong income planning will allow you to buy more cards. In a unique twist, Card City XL has 3 different levels of complexity and 5 different victory conditions, allowing you to really customize the complexity of your gameplay experience. There are also variants like the Unity variant that really mix up the gameplay. Between the variants, difficulties, and victory conditions, Card City XL has a lot of variety in the box. You can get a copy of Card City XL for a pledge of $29 plus shipping. Okay, that's all I've got for you this episode. Hopefully something caught your eye. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week.
Hey, Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise here, and my previously scheduled segment about the best board game to play while waiting for a prescription from your veterinary dermatologist to combat the all-over body rash that your Labradoodle contracted after rolling in poison ivy clippings that it discovered in your neighbor's backyard compost heap will have to wait, because I've received a question. It's Botswana, by the way. You have mentioned in the past that you used to play Magic the Gathering all the time, but you don't seem to mention playing it anymore, and we never see it in your game collection. Did you stop playing Magic the Gathering? And if so, why did you stop? Well, that is an excellent question. Yes, I did indeed used to play Magic the Gathering quite frequently, sometimes meeting up with my game group to play the game twice a week. But now, these days, yeah, I play the game maybe once a year, if that. So what happened? Was my card collection devoured by an itchy Labradoodle? Well, yes, actually, but that wouldn't happen for several years after I stopped playing. No, the day that I stopped playing Magic the Gathering started like any other day. The sun was shining, I had just created a brand new deck to test out, and soon enough, I met up with an opponent to try it out in a duel. Now, my adversary, they took the first turn and proceeded to play a card from their hand, which allowed them to play another card, which they then did, which in turn allowed them to search their library for another card to play, which allowed them to play another, and another, and another, and another, and another, ultimately creating a combination of cards that provided them with an infinite army of hastened creatures. Then, my opponent proceeded to attack with their amassed armada, inflicting an infinite amount of damage on me for the win. And so it was right then, right there, in that specific moment, that I felt my desire to play Magic the Gathering wither away inside of me like so much week old fruit salad dumped into your neighbor's backyard compost heap. It wasn't due to losing the match, but due to the realization that this game could allow for such a first-turn win where the defender wouldn't even have a chance to respond. Sure, yeah, standard format mitigates this issue by restricting the cards that are available in the card pool. And even in modern format, wins like this only happen in a best-case scenario. But it could happen. Have you ever had a game that you enjoyed killed by a single play session? Well, if so, let me know which game and what happened in the comments below. But for now, you'll need to excuse me, because it's time to apply Muffy's skin ointment. Here, puppy. Come here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi, welcome to Miniature World. This week we're going to be looking at some of the adventures I had and all the really cool tables at Recon 2017. So why don't we head out and take a look. that's it for this week's Miniature World. Until next time, I'm Rob Bourne, and we'll see you soon.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I'm looking for a temple. Have you seen one? No? Okay. Come on, we're almost there. Oh, hi there again. Today we're taking a quick look at Karuba.
Karuba is a tile-laying puzzle game for 2 to 4 players. It was designed by Rudiger Dorn and was published by Haba. And the idea of the game is that you're going to build paths by laying tiles and then move your explorers over those paths until they get to their temple ruins. At the end of the game, the player with the most points wins. You will have 4 adventures to navigate it, and each one of them have to arrive to their specific temple. Karuba is a simple game to play. It uses a bingo-like mechanics on top of the tile laying, and it kind of makes each game somewhat very different. Every time during my movements, when I stop on a tile that has a crystal or a gold, I will collect that crystal or that gold, and that will score me points at the end of the game. When you arrive at your temple, you'll be able to collect some of the relics. Each relic has a different amount of points, depending on the order that you arrive at the temple. So the sooner you get to the temple, the more points you score. At the end of the game, you just tally all the points you have it, counting all the relics, golds, and crystals, and again, largest amount of point is the winner. What do you think?
I think it's a really nice game to teach to your kids, to your family, to even friends who are really young. So I enjoyed learning how to play Karuba, and I hope you do too if you ever play.
All right. Till next time.
See you around the table.
Bye.
Bye.
So what's coming out from the Dice Tower this week? Well, we have several games that I'm going to be reviewing. I'm going to be talking about Kemet, Why I Love Kemet, and my Why I Love series. We'll be continuing on with our Best of Publishers series. I'll be taking a look at some Ghost games, Ghostel and Boo, along with some kids games. There's a game I'm rating a 1. I hate it so very much. You'll see that coming out this week. But some other interesting games. Like I said, we have those playthroughs of several of the games we got to play at CMON Expo, and we'll be kind of spreading those out throughout the course of the week. I'm sure you're anxious to see a little bit of how Rising Sun is played. Well, worry no longer, that's coming soon. And we'll also be talking about our things there. I am back on the podcast. It seems like I've been gone for a while, but I'm back with Eric, with our guest, that will be going up tomorrow, so you can check that out. And we'll see some other things coming out this week. We have some pretty neat things and a few scoops and fun things that we're just really excited to talk about. So all that's coming from the Dice Tower. You can find that and all of our Dice Tower Network podcasts, of course, with great content. You can listen to something every day of the week for sure, all at DicetowerNetwork.com.
Hey everyone, it's
Lunchtime!
Today we're going to be looking at Heroes and Tricks. It's a game published by Pencil First Games, designed by Eduardo Baraf and Jonathan Gilmore. It plays 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, in about 20 minutes.
So the idea behind Heroes and Tricks is it's kind of that Heroes theme, but it's a trick-taking game. The tricky part is this thing that looks a little bit like a treasure box. You're actually opening this up, and when it comes to you, you're going to be looking at what information is there. That's all you have to go on. So as the first player, I know what the suit is, but what I can do is I can play either a different suit, different number. I can even play some gear cards in there. They go behind, so players won't actually know if I've played them, and they're going to modify how it's scored after everyone has played a card in. So when I pass it to the next player, they will get to see what's inside on the front. Then they have to play based on what information they're given. Once everyone has played a card and or multiple gear cards in, we basically lay them out on the table, going from the closest to the actual suit card that was the starting card. You basically go from there and you score out, and basically whoever gets it will get that suit card as their win. So basically you're going to a certain number of points, a certain number of cards to collect. What I particularly love is all these fun, like Drake the Snake If anyone who ever grew up in the 80s knows all about Drake the Snake or Jake the Snake. And Factual Franks, the art, and oh my god, it's just hilarious.
So I really enjoyed this game. At first, though, those gear cards really threw me for a loop because I swear I feel like we all played our gear cards.
I was dealt 3 gear cards at the start of the game, and I put them all in the very first trick.
So trying to organize at the end, we're like, oh my gosh, it was so much. So if you do that, it's fine. It's a little bit of I find a bit of a disaster trying to figure it out. But then after, there's way less of them, and it does make it a bit clearer when you're trying to do scoring for the next round. So.
True.
Our first playthrough, we did play with the full 6-player count. Right. I feel that the game might lose a little bit of interest if it's at a lower player count, but with about 4, 5, 6 players, it's enough of a mixed field to make it fun and interesting.
So there's always something different when you play. So I mean, that was a good experience for the first time. Next time is a little bit different. So I mean, it's always going to be a different game, which is what you want, right? With playability.
Exactly.
Yeah. And one more thing I have to note: this is great. The little clasp closes, so exactly, so it doesn't just like pop open. So I like it. So that's it for us, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Annette, and you may know me as Netters Plays. And today on Applied Mechanics, I'm going to go over Honshu. Now, Honshu has a really interesting card laying mechanism, so let me show you a little bit about that and explain to you exactly how it's applied and why I like this game so much. Every player will get a random starting mat card. Every player will also get 6 cards to their hand. These cards have different types of land areas, which will score you points at the end of the game, along with a number value too. On your turn, you're going to go ahead and play a card face down. You can always add a resource cube to add 60 to the value of that card. All other players can also play a card. Then whoever had the highest value gets to go first in picking which one of those cards they want to add to their map. With the card that you just acquired, you get to add it to your map, and you can add it by either rotating it in any which way and placing it either above or below that card. So you're going to play a total of 12 cards, 2 rounds of 6 cards each. When you're down to 3 cards, you're going to go ahead and pass your hand over to another player, and they will pass you theirs. When you're down to 12 cards, then your map might look like this. So one thing I really enjoy about Honshu and its card laying mechanism is the fact that it takes tile laying to a different dimension. Yes, the cards are flat and they're 2-dimensional, however, you can place them either under or over other cards, unlike tiles. In tile laying games, you always add the tiles adjacent to one another, but because you can overlay the cards, it adds a different depth to the game. So Honshu itself is very innovative and very extraordinary because it takes card play to a different place. So that's why I really enjoy Honshu.
All right, let's take a look at what's on the shelf this week. First of all, we have Mission Red Planet, which is, man, this game just scales so well. A lot of fun. The reprint here from Fantasy Flight, really good. Xeno Shift, this CMON game is one that doesn't seem to get a lot of love, but I really like this deck building cooperative game, which feels like Starship Troopers, the movie, the board game to some degree. Lots of fun. You guys know I love Adventureland. Really great hobby game. This would be my pick for the Spiel des Jahres, honestly. Just a really cool game of collecting resources and fighting monsters. Ethnos. I really think this game is fantastic. You are going to hear a lot about it because this was one of the hottest games at the CMON Expo this past week. And so more than just me will be saying this game is great. I didn't hear anyone say anything negative about it other than that the board's boring, which is true. But the game is really, really entertaining. Escape, the Curse of the Temple, speed dice rolling game. Of course, I tend to like those games, but this one is fun. Have all the expansions in there. Spectre Ops, this game of cat and mouse where one person is trying to run, hide, basically a Scotland Yard for gamers, even though Scotland Yard's pretty good. This one's really good. Santorini. Oh, I love Santorini. What a great abstract strategy game. This one is a fantastic version of that. And Time Story is one of my favorite games of all time, as you are trying to solve mysteries, almost like a precursor to this whole escape room games. Time Story almost has that feel to some degree. So really fantastic games on these shelves.
Hello, my name's Dan, and this is Cora, and we're here today to talk to you about board games for children around 5 and under. And today, we're going to talk about this game. What is it, Cora?
Picture-Rika Flipper Game.
Picture-Rika Flipper Game. In Picture-Rika Flipper, you're racing against the other players to try and find various doodles on little square cards. The gimmick of this game is that the cards are distributed by a cute, but rather sinister, robotic penguin who violently flings them around the table. Once the penguin has finished its card-hurling rampage, a little light flashes on its head, either red or green, to tell the players which of 2 challenges they need to be hunting for. You only get about 30 seconds to look, however, and then the penguin quacks to tell you to change the challenge to another type of doodle. Then, after a few different challenges, he gets a sudden urge to chuck things around again, and you're back to having little cards flung at your head. This is not a popular game over on Board Game Geek, but I really like it. Finding the right doodles to fit the challenges can require quite a lot of lateral thinking and creativity at times, and any game that encourages that in kids can only be a good thing. Plus, the penguin makes a very rude noise when the game ends, and you just don't get comedy like that in Agricola. So Cora, what do you think about this game?
I think it's good. I like it.
Why do you like it?
Because I like catching all the things, because then it hits you on like when...
I know, this table's a bit too small for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it flies off, so really it's a game we probably should be playing on the floor, but we had to play on the table to film it, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's a really nice game. I like the toy factor. I like the fact it flings cards out all over the place.
Yeah, and the flipper gun.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't know that there's run out of cards.
No, sometimes it doesn't know it's run out of cards. And sometimes it does stick, but most of the time it works pretty well. So, I think we give Picture-Rika Flipper Game 2 waddling penguin thumbs up.
Welcome to the thrift store, where 2 brothers with 5 whole dollars attempt to find the most interesting or strange board game from yesteryear and review it for you. This is Thrift Store Throwbacks.
Hey there, Dice Tower. We're the Brothers Murph, and this Oh, yeah. What are you doing? Why are you dressed like that? I'm stretching out because we found a sports game this week, baby. Gotta limber up. We found spare time bowling. Whoa. Are you saying bowling's not a sport? Because I will...
So this is Spare Time Bowling. It comes in a pin, which makes sense. It's a Yahtzee-style game where you're going to be rolling dice that are going to simulate the bowling experience. So on each die, we have 1 pin and then several blank sides. So if it's our turn, we're going to rattle and roll. As you can see, we have 8 blanks, which means those pins have been knocked down. We have 2 left standing. We have a second roll in which we're going to try to complete our spare, which I did. So now I'm going to write down my score up here. We're going to play 10 fast-paced rounds of bowling, and at the end, the highest score wins.
That was Spare Time Bowling. My gosh. They somehow made an already not athletic sport less athletic. I'm very winded. So what did you think? I hated this game.
What? I think it's kind of fun.
This is so boring.
It comes in this adorable little pin, and you get to instantly become like a pretty solid bowler. Every game I bowl in this is the best game I've ever bowled.
This pin is the only good thing about this game. First of all, each die has 1 pin on it and then 5 blank sides.
Good.
So you're so likely. Like, I never rolled less than 7 pins knocked down.
Here's the thing about board games is we get to live out our greatest fantasies.
This is your greatest fantasy?
I would love to be a person who's rolled a perfect 300 game of bowling, and with this game, I might achieve that goal. You get to learn the lost art of scoring a game of bowling.
And the box is like one of those old-timey, like, look how much fun our family is having. This isn't real life.
All right, whatever. It reminds us of a better time. A spare time. That was Spare Time Bowling. Let us know if you'd like to play this game, because I think it's just quaint. You can check us out on social media right about there. Until next time, we'll see you at the thrift store.
See you there.
Hey folks, joining me today is the most beautiful woman in the world, Lara Vassal. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and so one of the things that we've been doing together as a family lately, we play games together, but we've been playing a lot of the escape room games. Now, you've never done an escape room yet.
No, not yet.
You want to, though?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Laura never even heard of the escape room board game things or escape rooms much. I didn't talk about it. So we started playing them with the family. What are your initial thoughts on these kind of escape room games?
They have lots of cool puzzles, and I like to figure out word games and things like that. So there's just a lot of different ideas, and I like trying to figure out the puzzles in the games.
Yeah, Laura and I have, if you don't know, we have 7 children. And we've been playing these with our 3 oldest children, our 3 oldest daughters, who are 17, 15, and... No, 17, 14, and 13. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Okay, good. Anyhow, one of the things that's really enjoyable about these games to me is that we are all working together. You might argue that of the 5 of us, one person is smarter than everybody else. My daughter Melody's pretty smart, maybe.
Yeah, she
Right.
picks up fast on a lot of things.
Right, she does. But she doesn't catch everything in these games. Sometimes Amy or Holly will be like,
yes.
Well, what happened over there? What about that? And then we're all like,
wow.
We're not...
Yeah.
Not like that, but I mean, it's like, oh, we didn't see that. But I like the idea that we get to work together on these. Each of them is about an hour. Some of them are disposable. Like when you play it, you know, we rip them up and everything. So what do you think about that? Let's say it's $15. Is that worth it for an hour worth of entertainment?
I think so. We had lots of fun. We got to use it. It was more fun than going to the movies.
Okay, so I just wanted to be clear because Laura's very much tight with the money more so than I am, and really in this respect, I think she's right. One of these escape room games, and these games, if you don't know what they are, is you are trying to usually escape from a room in them by solving different puzzles. You don't even know sometimes what the puzzles are. First you have to figure out what the puzzle is and then solve it, and then eventually there's different ways, there's different codes. There's exit the game from Cosmos. There's escape the room, the game. You've played both of those. There's unlock. You played the unlock ones too, and Dexcape. Actually, you played all of them, all the different types. Yeah. So which one did you like the best?
I am really bad at making
Ranking
decisions
things?
like that. I liked them all.
Okay. Yeah, I really think that they all are a lot of fun. I think my favorite, the one I might recommend the most, is Exit the Games. But that's because there's a lot of paper and pencil and cutting involved, and I thought that was a lot of fun just to matching the puzzles up. Mm-hmm. They're not super spooky. I mean, they do sometimes say you're trapped in a room and the guy will kill you if you don't get out, I think. But that's kind of in the background. Mm-hmm. But I like how they bring us together as a family. I mean, we're doing
Working
something
together.
Productive, too. They make you think, and they make you think in different ways. And sometimes, literally, they make you think outside the box.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know that I'd recommend them for smaller kids, but I definitely would recommend them for pretty much, teenagers and such. And so I'm really glad because, Laura, you're not the biggest board gamer.
No, but I like word games and puzzles, so.
Right, so if you like puzzles or logic things at all, I mean, even the fact I got a few in the mail last week, opened them up, and Laura's like, when are we playing? Right, so hopefully we can get more of them. We've gone through all the ones that we have. So if you're looking for something fun to do with a family, a lot of fun, I think that they're great entertainment. In our family, no one person shines. Everyone gets to work together. Any last thoughts?
No.
Isn't she pretty?
Hi, Mike Licio from Solomode Games. In the last few years, Gamelin Games and designer Scott Alms have put out 4 games in a tiny epic series. And one of the things that they all have in common, other than being tiny and of differing scales of epicness, is that they all have a solo version. So what I want to do is give you a favorites in a reverse order of the 4 games in that series. The first is Tiny Epic Defenders. This is a good game, my least favorite of the 4. It is a game where you are a hero and you have waves of enemies coming at you. It's a cooperative game and you're trying to defeat all of these enemies as they come after you wave after wave. Next, Tiny Epic Kingdoms. This is actually the Ultra Tiny Epic Kingdoms version. The original game did not have a solo mode. The expansion, Heroes Call, came out with an expansion or a solo version. This is built in. It's a 4X game. Clever, fun. The most unique probably of the four is Tiny Epic Western. It's a mixture of a worker placement game with a bit of a poker mechanic built in. Very unique. I enjoy it. But it's a little fiddly to me. The solo rules a little unintuitive, but still my second favorite of the series. And my favorite by quite a bit is Tiny Epic Galaxies. It is a dice rolling and manipulation game where you are trying to colonize planets and utilize your dice in different ways, trying to be as efficient as you can. There you have it, my four favorite in order of the Tiny Epic series. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Best and the Worst. Today, Zimby Mojo from Devil's Weasel Games. Yeah, let's take a look what I like on it, right? My favorite part on a co-opportunistic game of cannibalistic mayhem, how great sound that's, by the way, is it looks great and Jim created a really cool world and it feels so cool, you really wanted to play it. It's cool, it looks cool, and the idea is so brilliant that you have your shamans bringing out these little zombies and trying to kill the evil king to get the crown back to your own tribe. Brilliant. All of that sounds so great. But it's a little bit, and that is the flip side, that Tom is always describing, hopefully I quote you correct, Tom, is that semi-cooperative games, and that's what it is usually not really working out. Why? I mean, on the first half of this game, you're trying to kill the king together. There's no way to kill the king alone, or almost no way. So you're trying to work together and overcome the kill and get the crown. But after that, this game turns into a blood fight and everybody tries to get the crown, so everybody against each other. And in this moment where it turns, you always try to invest a little bit in the team, but not too much. And this type of semi-co-op, Tom always quotes that he never played a semi-co-op that really works. I guess that's what he's saying. So, and yeah, I have the same feeling on Zimby Mojo here. That was my personal favorite on Zimby Mojo, and things I don't like too much on it. Devil's Weasel Games, my name is Niels, and see you next week here live on Board Game Breakfast. Since then, have a lot of fun playing games, right?
Hi everyone. Here in Europe there is one big spectacular event that is hard to imagine if you're looking from the outside in. It is called the Eurovision Song Contest, and it was invented in the 50s to unite a Europe that was torn apart by war. The idea is that every country submits a song and have it performed before a live audience, and afterwards vote on it to see who brings the best song of Europe. It used to be about good singers and great songs, but nowadays it's more about the act around it. This week I have no time to play at a table because me and my colleagues have turned our comedy show into a Eurovision Song Contest tribute show. But we do play a real life game I spotted last year at Essen Spiel called Rhyme the Rap Challenge. In Rhyme the Rap Challenge, players are rappers and try to find out who writes the best rap song. Each round, players get 3 different words from different categories and get 3 minutes to write the best lyrics using those words. Every round, players get more words to complete their song, making a coherent story. You gain points for using words in your verse, and even more points if you can make them rhyme. At the end of 4 rounds, the player who makes the best overall song gets some points as well, and at the end, the player with the most points wins the game. I like a game like this, but I'm extremely biased. Improvising songs like this is what I do as a job on a daily basis for a live audience. It will probably be demoed at one of the big conventions this year, so if you walk by it, you might want to try it out. It's called Rhyme the Rap Challenge. I have one more tribute show coming up on Wednesday in Arnhem in the Netherlands. If you're in the neighborhood, let me know and we might see each other there. See you next week.
How do I get into a role-playing group if I don't have a friendly local game store? Hi, I'm Chris Renshaw from the Boards and Swords podcast, and welcome to Roleplaying. Last time I talked about how your friendly local game store was the best way to get into a role-playing game or a role-playing game group, but a lot of us may not have a store may be too far, maybe you don't like the store, whatever reason that you have. Today I want to talk about other ways that you can get into it. Now the first one you may have even used to find a board game group, and that is meetup.com. Just like there's a bunch of board game groups on Meetup, there's also a whole bunch of RPG groups as well. I live near the DC area, and it's just like every other week I see a new Pathfinder or D&D group pop up on Meetup. The second big resource I want to introduce you to is called Roll20.net. Roll20.net is a tool that's used to connect people online, allow them to help find groups, and to provide a way of playing RPGs online. It's got a really great virtual tabletop that you can use to move pieces around, lay out maps, have different lighting and that sort of thing. But there's also a really good search engine through in there where you can find people that are wanting to play a specific type of RPG. Are they looking for players? Are they looking for newer players? Are they willing to teach a game, etc.? So my suggestion is it's also a really good way to try out, because honestly, if you don't like a group, you don't know the people, so you never have to see them again. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments below if you have used one of these sites, either Roll20 or Meetup, and if you've had any experiences, good or bad, in using either of these sites. In the meantime, though, may all your hits be crits.
Hi guys, it's Jan from SpielLlama.de and this is Pepper. Hello! And we are from 3 games I recently played. Here we go! And we start right away with Mech vs. Minions. Beautiful mate, strategy, cooperative programming game. It makes a lot of fun, and it comes with tons of miniatures, some of them pre-painted. Excellent board quality, everything is just excellent. Even the price is around $80, and it comes with a ton of miniatures. It's really cool game. You really should check this one out if you haven't already. And for the next game we have Neuroshima Hex, highly tactical game. For me it works best with 2 players, and it has a really cool chain reaction mechanism. Depends of course if you lay your tiles right on this hexagon fields. Really cool game. It looks a little bit dry, but man, it is really good. And also really good, one of the most favorite games of the Dice Tower reviewers is Kemet. Kemet is a game set in the Egyptian mythology. Really well done. The miniatures are really cool. The artworks on the cards are really cool. Everything fits perfectly together. It has a very cool mechanism with these pyramid dice. And yeah, you totally just check this out. You will find for Kemet and all the other games reviews, of course, on the Dice Tower and also on SpielLlama. So check them out. That's for me this week. I hope you enjoyed the games. Let me know in the comments. And see you next week, hopefully. Bye-bye, guys.
Last year's Guide to Cottage Games video focused on durable games that will survive the splashes of lake water, sudden rain showers, and gusts of winds that come with playing outside. This year's video, however, we're going to focus on what to play when it's too rainy for the kids to play outside, or the kids have gone to bed and the adults want to play. Maybe there aren't even kids in your scenario. So whatever your situation, if you're at the cottage, board games can help you have fun. Now, gaming with kids really is dependent on just how old your children are. For those kids who are just young enough to start playing games, I always recommend Haba. Kids as young as 3 can be playing games like Sleepy Princess. Once you get to 4 or 5, you've got games like Gokuku, Monza, and Animal Upon Animal to keep the kids occupied. When you've got kids who are 7 or 8, I still like to recommend Haba because they have some more advanced games that are great for that age range. Games like Orinoco Gold and Rhino Hero. You can also start introducing your kids of that age to abstract strategy. Games like Lattes and chess are designed for ages 6 and up, but they are deep enough that they will provide teens and adults with a rich enough strategic experience. And if you are hoping to raise that little gamer, games like My First Stone Age, Carcassonne Jr., and Catan for Kids are all great to introduce your young ones to more advanced strategic concepts. If you're up at the cabin without the kids, or maybe they've already gone to bed and that bottle of wine you opened isn't going to drink itself, board games are a great way to while away the hours after you've grown tired of lounging in the hammock, contemplating the human condition, or plotting your zombie survival plan. Hey, what you do at your cottage is your own business. If it's just the two of you, try games from Gigamic. They're a company that specializes in all-wood abstract games. The design of them visually will fit with the rustic aesthetic of your cabin, and they're fun to play. Quarto and Corridor are two of the most popular here at the cafe, but you can also try Pylos, Eclipse, or Batik. Now, if there's a bunch of you and you're feeling kind of trivia-minded, instead of playing that dog-eared old copy of Trivial Pursuit that you know is going to be in the closet, along with a copy of Scrabble that has no J, well, I've got some ideas for you. Try 5 Second Rule or Geek Out. They're both fast, furious trivia games that are easy to play, and 5 Second Rule has the added advantage that if you like to get a little blue with your gaming, it's got an uncensored version as well. Filler games like No Thanks, Coup, For Sale, or Hoax are great when there's 4 to 6 adults or teens who are looking for something that's a little meatier to play. Do you have a favorite game to take cottaging? Tell us about it in the comments below. Have a great cottage season, and remember, if you do take a break to go outside and have fun or whatever, be sure to practice good water safety.
First things first, I do like people. I'm not a monster. This is a monster. I like people. People are amazing. Well, persons are amazing. Individuals I like. People, awful. You know, like ice cream. Yeah, wait, no, I thought I had an analogy, but I think I might just be hungry. I love ice cream. I just wanted to take a moment to tell you why I like playing solo and solitaire variants so much. Not all solo variants are very good, but some are amazing. Huh? Huh? Look how small it is. It's tiny. I have a tendency to overthink things and worry about things and then stress out about them and then just panic. But when I take the time to set up a game and play it and make some meaningful and difficult decisions, whether that's planting a vineyard or, you know, digging up rubble. That's what you do in Snowdonia, you dig a lot of rubble. Well then, all that just kind of goes away and I forget about everything for a little while. And that is actually kind of amazing. And I can do all that in my pajamas. So, there's that. Though in fairness, I'm wearing pajamas right now. I'm incredibly casual, waist down. All I'm saying is, next time you need to relax, try a board game. Because what's the worst that could happen? I'll tell you what the worst thing that can happen is fog. Loads of fog. Or you could just, you know, scream into your own fist. That works too. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Frog!
Well, folks, that's another Board Game Breakfast. Thanks so much for joining us, and thank you to all my contributors. They do a great job each week. So many interesting things to talk about. We do another show that's kind of like Board Game Breakfast, our Kickstarter show, which is talking about different Kickstarter projects. It's called Crowd Surfing, and so that comes out every other week. This week is one of the weeks it's going to come out. Basically, where we take a look at things that will be coming out probably Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So go check that out when it comes out. And just other exciting things coming out in the future. A couple weeks away, UK Gaming Expo. So we'll see some of you there. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and this has been Board Game Breakfast.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vassell and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff in stock at coolstuffinc.com.